Aircraft training has been conducted at this place for the last 60 years, but not anymore. A change in location is on the cards. Take a look as to what we are talking about.
This helicopter is in a motionless state. It will probably remain this way in future as well. A few choppers and some small-size aircraft also face the same fate. All these are part of Jakkur Flying School. For the last 15 days, there have been no activities here, and speculations are doing the rounds that the flying school will be shifted. For the last 6 decades, the Jakkur Aerodrome was a hub of training and flying activities. The land was gifted to the government by the Wadiyar dynasty, and the aerodrome was built during their reign. So, what is the reason for the possible change in location? The signal-free elevated road constructed by National Highway Authority of India, which runs close to the flying school. It is learned that concerns were raised about small aircraft colliding with vehicles speeding on the highway. Last November, aircraft training agencies filed a petition in the High Court to direct authorities to stop vehicles while an aircraft was taking off. The court directed the government to review the situation and submit a report before 11 June. Instead of submitting the report, the government has decided to shift all aircraft training centres, including the one run by the state government.
Chief Secretary, Chief Secretary HCL ಮಾಡುವ ಅಂತ ಆದರೆ ಇದು ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದು ವಾದ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಾದಗಳಿದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ತೆಗಿತೀರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ 200-300 ಎಕರೆ ಜಾಗ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವು ಬಾಂಡ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಲೆಟ್ ದೆಮ್ ಕನ್ವಿನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಅವರ್ CM ಅವರ್ Chief Secretary.
The flying school managements are distressed by the government's decision. They argue that training programs have been happening since the time of the Maharajas and thousands of people have been trained. They now want Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to review the decision.
Which is a historic aerodrome of Government of Karnataka, which has been there for 60 years, is a hub of training activities for small aircrafts, helicopters and medium-sized aeroplanes. Ever since the elevated highway came up, which is an illegal structure right next to Jakkur Aerodrome, it has created a safety hazard for the aeroplanes flying out of Jakkur Aerodrome, especially the medium and larger aircraft. This matter is in the court, and the court had asked the government to submit an interim report on maintaining safety margin. Surprisingly, we are told that the decision taken by the Chief Secretary is that the flying itself should be stopped for the time being instead of providing a report to the Honorable High Court of Karnataka.
All eyes will be on the Chief Minister now. Will he direct the Chief Secretary to allow the flying school to function as usual, or will he go by his top official's decision? Anand Burli, News9, Bengaluru.
They say marriages are made in heaven, and if one goes by a marriage ceremony that took place in Mysore, there is all more reason to endorse this adage. We tell you why.
Lata and Ninganna were married in Gaddige in Mysore district. You may well ask what's so special about it. Well, both the bride and the bridegroom are speech impaired. The bridegroom Ninganna, before selecting Lata as his life partner, had rejected offers of marriage with girls who were not speech impaired.
ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ನೋಡಿ ಹುಡುಗಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಾವು ಅವ್ರ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಮಾತು ಬರೋಂಥ ಹುಡುಗಿರು ನಾನು ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಒಂಥರ ಆಸೆ ಪಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಮೂಗಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಅನ್ನೂನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾತುಕತೆ ಆಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಗಂಡು ಒಪ್ಕೋತು ಗಂಡು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಒಪ್ಕೋತು ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ್ನಿ.
Lata's family meanwhile were a disappointed lot. Their search for the right alliance ended with prospective grooms rejecting her due to her speech impairment. Her maternal uncle Satish though learned about Ninganna. Satish spoke to Ninganna's parents who accepted the proposal.
ಹುಡುಗಿ ನನ್ನ ನಾದಿನಿ ಅಕ್ಕ ನಾವು ಈ ಹುಡುಗಿ ತುಂಬ 3ನೇ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಮಾತು ಬರ್ದೇನೆ ನಿಂತೋಗಿತ್ತು. ನಾವು ಈ ಹುಡುಗಿ ದೊಡ್ಡೋಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಲೆಂದು ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಭಾರಿ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಇದುವರೆಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗಂಡುಗಳು ದೊರೆತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ನಾವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ವಯಂವರ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾದರಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಸೂರು ತಾಲೂಕು ಜೈಪುರ ಹೋಬಳಿಯಿಂದ ಹುಡುಗ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಾರ್ಬಳ್ಳಿಯವರು ಹುಡುಗ ಅವರು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಒಪ್ಪಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹುಡುಗಿನೂ ಸಹ ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ತು.
Not only for the families of Ninganna and Lata, even for the couple, The long search seems to have ended on a happy note. Ram for News 9, Mysore.
Time and again, we come across people who stun us with their feats. Today, we bring you one such man who travelled from Bengaluru to Bhutan. On what you may ask, take a look.
Over 11,000 kilometers. Through 11 states and 2 countries. One dream. Live to ride, ride to live. For normal people, a ride back home on a bike on city roads might seem strenuous. But for a passionate biker, riding is a pleasure. And one such man is Manoj Jacob. A Bengalurian by birth, Manoj is an NRI. Now that's not why he's on your screen. He is here because of his passion for biking and his tremendous feat of cruising on his Harley through 11 states in India and then crossing the border to get to Nepal and Bhutan. While Manoj was in Bangkok last month, his friend informed him about the Harley-Davidson owners group in India planning a trip to Bhutan. This was a dream come true for him. He flew down to Bengaluru from Bangkok and got his bike ready for the trip. On the 17th of May, this man kick-started this once-in-a-lifetime trip as the lone rider from Bengaluru. He was joined by the other Hog members at Pune.
This plan actually started to brew in Bangkok, where I met my friend who was the director of the Bengal Hogs in Calcutta. He was the one who actually came to me and he said that there's a big ride which is going to happen. And it's going to be one of its kind because it's going to be the first international hog ride which is going to happen, and the destination is Bhutan. Knowing the place as destination Bhutan, so that's how this whole scenario of me flying down from Bangkok to come down to Bangalore just 2 days before to get my bike serviced. On the 17th, I started rolling out from here.
Making a trip like this isn't everyone's cup of tea. One needs to be driven by some great deal of passion and, of course, a good bike. And what better than a beast like this? A Harley-Davidson Electra Glide. This is one of the best bikes that the international bike makers have to offer. With a roaring engine and smooth cruising capabilities, it's almost any rider's dream to own one of these babies. And Manoj has quite an interesting story behind this bike.
I was riding Harleys from 2005, but it always used to be a rented one and a much slower CCF bike, like the 883s. Then I finally decided I wanted to own one. Went to the Harley-Davidson when I moved into Dubai. This bike just happened because I need to thank a person that is my wife, who came with me to the showroom. So I was looking for a bike which is of a much lesser, capacity than the top-end model. But she, knowing my character, she said, if you're going to buy it, you have to buy this, or else you're not going to even get the smaller one. So that's how I landed up buying this bike. This bike is called an Electra Glide Standard.
This trip to Bhutan and Nepal is not the only one that defines this man's passion for biking. As a member of the Riders Republic herd of Bengaluru, his passion for riding, if we may call it, is almost hereditary. Manoj and his 73-year-old father went on a road trip recently, and to cherish this memory, he has etched a tattoo on his arm.
There's the thing, it's not the destination. It's just you. You got to, destination you don't, I didn't plan to do Ahmedabad and everything, it just happened. So the only thing I would like to tell any other biker is, when you're biking, don't look at the milestones. Destination is just a place. Just feel free. Live to ride and ride to live. That's how it is.
We wish Manoj the best of luck for his future endeavors and hope he continues to live his biking dreams. Deepak Bopana for News 9, Bengaluru.